Hello and welcome once again to Mr. Life Community Channel. Today we have one more very interesting guest, a woman entrepreneur who has done a lot of work through the years, Nidhi Brakta. Hi Nidhi,
Hello.
welcome to Mr. Life Community Channel.
Thank you so much.
Nidhi has a long journey, and today we thought why not pick her brains on how her journey has been from a corporate job to an entrepreneur and the learning she's had through this journey and how you can benefit from that journey as well. So, Nidhi, this is a special series on the occasion of Women's Day. While I believe that women has celebrated through the year, but we thought since it is right there, why not we start this new initiative on the Women's Day? So thank you so much for joining. Why don't we start with knowing about you, your journey, what you have done, and and bring us up to speed of where you are today.
So like Harpreet, you started and said the word that it's a long journey. You already kind of suggested I'm really old. So yeah, I think the journey has been long. I have worked in the corporate sector for a good 15 plus years. Thereafter, I moved to a little bit of an entrepreneurial journey, and we started a brand along with my friend Shruti, and we started a brand called Numa, and then we had to change the name, and we moved to Fave. We were doing home linen and home decor,
Okay.
and post that, I think latest what I'm doing. I'm handling our small boutique resort, which is in Himachal, in district Shimla, in a place called Tube.
That's called the hotel is called
It's called
Dafi.
Dafi.
Dafi. Correct.
Yeah.
Dafi. So it's a big shift, right? Initially, you were in telecom industry, then you got to interior industry, and then in the hotel industry. Tell us about a little bit about your telecom corporate job. What was that? Is that
So I started as a sales executive with one of the organizations in Punjab, which was HFCL Connect.
okay?
And from there on, I moved to Airtel, where I was mostly handling sales, corporate sales, and then marketing. My last tenure of about 7+ years was with Tata Docomo. And there on also, I was looking after product marketing and also roaming services. And my last part of the stint was I was actually part of the project team that was handling the rollout of the GST launch. Was that's when India was moving towards the GST regime. And also I was handling postpaid product, the tariffing and the TRI regulations for the subscriber base.
So what caused this shift? I mean, you were passionately wanting to start your entrepreneurial journey, you wanted to do a business, or you sometimes it happens, right? You come across a friend and it clicks and you okay, let's start something, or you already always had this passion about interior decoration.
Somewhere in my DNA, I'm primarily somebody who would prefer to work in a corporate.
Uh-huh.
But I think as my son was growing and I started to feel that maybe I need to be more around him and give him time, the corporate sector does not really give you that kind of time and that leverage. So in my head, I started thinking that maybe it would be the right time now to make that shift from the corporate to maybe something where I would be able to have a better work-life balance.
So work-life balance kind of triggered it.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
And of course, I didn't want to sit idle at the others.
So which year was Numa, right? And why a change? You said you changed the name to Farwing, right?
Yeah, so we
What
kind of started thinking about it and we started discussing about it, and then we thought of this very nice name, Numa. And we kind of had our all packaging and all stickering and everything. We got all the marketing material done with this brand name. And then eventually, when we went for the copyright for this name, the lawyer told us that this was already registered with with not just one, but multiple people across, and that could have landed us in some kind of legal issues.
Okay.
So we were actually just not aware. specific industries, if somebody has already taken a copyright for the brand name, you can't have a similar name.
Correct.
So that's
That's what we call trademark registration, right?
Yes,
Trademark
exactly.
issue.
So that's what we'd gone for, and and then we were a little too disappointed because we thought we were so attached to that name, and thought no, we didn't want to change it, but then there was no option.
That's a very interesting point because we also see a lot of these small and home-based businesses just think about a name and start, investing in that business. And once they grow, they realize that, whether this trademark or registration should have been done or not. Because like you faced a challenge, many people change it. And I think the learning here clearly is that if you had investing in building a business, do make sure that the name you select and is unique and is already available as trademark, right? And the process is not very difficult, right?
No, it's not. It's not difficult. You can just kind of the best route would be to actually go to a lawyer who deals in the copyright registration and the trademark registrations.
Yeah.
So I think that's the ideal path to choose. Please don't get involved with any online kind of portals and all. I would not advise that because they can also be misleading you. So best is to go to somebody physically and talk about your brand.
Right. And it's not very expensive. A lawyer may charge you anywhere between 1,000 rupees to 3,000-4,000 rupees depending on the lawyer, and the government fees I think ranges between 4,500 to 9,000 depending on what size you are in.
Yeah.
So you can easily get your trademark of your brand done in less than about 10,000. So if you
About 10 to 20 is the budget that you should keep.
correct, depending on the lawyer fee and other fee, right?
Correct.
Because government fee I know is 9,000, and if you are a MSME registered, which you can also become MSME registered by on the government portal, then it
The small scale industry.
correct. So there is something called Udyam registration of the government. If you register yourself in Udyam, you get an MSME certificate,
Yes.
and with that certificate, the trademark is 4,500 rupees only. Yeah. So and then the lawyer fees will be whatever, anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000. So it's not very expensive. It's better if you are investing in a business to secure that trademark, that name upfront. Right. So that's that you had that thumb, right? Because you got into that challenge.
Had it learning. So we had lots of learnings actually. I can go on and on about.
Yeah, well, we'd love to, because I'm sure the small businesses who are part of the community also know.
Yeah. So another thing that we missed initially was that we didn't hire an accountant right away. I think that's very, very critical if you want to look at an expansion of your business. If you just want to do a very small kind of a business, maybe it might not be essential. But if you want to eventually grow your business, you must have a GST registration. You must appoint an accountant. Even a part-time accountant is not a very heavy cost. You can get somebody between maybe 5,000 to 10,000 in a month, because that's something which is a very part-time work. But he'll keep you guided towards the right journey in terms of the tax norms and everything. So you're kind of safe. So
No, I think it's a very important point, because again, what we see when we deal with our community members is that they mostly are worried about marketing a lot more than they're worried about operations and accounting and things like that. But I think you made a very fair point that an accountant can guide you on how to keep your books clean, how to build a business which is profitable business,
absolutely.
right? And it gives you ways and means to deliver more value and bundle in more profits in your business. And more you're profitable, more you're able to scale. So while I know most people say business आना चाहिए, lead नहीं होगा तो business नहीं होगा तो accountant भी कैसे afford करेंगे, but I think somewhere you have to do the balance between your marketing initiatives and accounting. That's a very, very good point.
And these are mistakes that we have already made. So these are first-hand learnings that we have kind of had, and therefore I'm sharing them so that it can benefit somebody else.
So that's when you change the name of the company. The business remained the same, but it became Faaway.
Yeah.
Right. And then what happened? I mean, Faaway, I believe, finally you given a pause to it.
Yeah, we were doing fine. I would say decently fine. But eventually, there were some personal commitments that got in between. Then COVID happened, which kind of affected our business a lot. And eventually then we realized that maybe we need to go a little slow paced on that. And eventually, unfortunately, I would say what happened was that we kept it on a back burner, and we kind of stopped that business.
Okay. Sometimes, with all the right things also, you hit a roadblock.
Yeah.
You may hit a roadblock, but Nidhi didn't stop there. She moved on to next venture, which we're going to talk about, which is that boutique hotel now.
Yeah.
Right? So you're now a full-time head of a boutique hotel, if I may have to say that way.
No, I think the head still remains by Hatun, but yes, I do take care of the operational bit, the marketing piece, the maintenance, and other things. So my focus primarily is that we keep the property clean for the people who come there, because hygiene is very, very important to us. We also travel a lot, so I think any property that you visit, the first thing that you want to see is a clean property, clean bed linen, a clean kitchen. That's also very, very important. So we try and ensure that, in fact, we make sure that all these basic things are met. And plus, the property is at a very beautiful location. So it's always a delight to go there and just be the boss around.
I was really, I would say, pleasantly surprised. I didn't know that your property is such a location that it was still snowing like 2 weeks back.
Yeah,
It snowed 2 weeks back also. So if you want to see snow and want a good property, Dafi is a name, and that's in Himachal. So tell us about that. So then, how is your typical day?
Essentially, what I do is I kind of stay in touch with the manager on a day-to-day basis. So I keep checking with him on the bookings and everything. Plus, we have a marketing agency that we've hired. The York organization itself.
It's been a pleasure with that journey. Yeah.
So we've started this journey where you're handling the marketing for us, you're doing our reels and posts, and also the ads now for us on Google. That's something. And plus, we also have a sales and marketing partner, which is Vista Rooms. So I also engage with them in terms of our daily requirements, our expectations, and what is it that we are doing for the property, and how are we promoting it at their end, and vice versa, how are the bookings coming in. So all those operational things also I kind of manage remotely from here.
That's very interesting, and I must say that from corporate to a business which hits one roadblock of copyright or a trademark issue, and then changing the name, still trying it out, with all those challenges which comes along with any business, but not still giving up, and then moving on to run the hotel operations, which are equally challenging, I'm sure. What next?
Before we move to the next, I'd like to say that when you say challenges, no, I never felt that these were challenges. Actually, each of those were learnings. We were making mistakes and we were learning through it. And now coming to the present in terms of the future, I think Dafi, of course, could be a full-time job now that my son moves on to college. I'll have more time, and I think physically I'll be placed more there. Yeah. And secondly, I'm kind of pursuing my childhood hobbies, which of course include painting. So I'm learning acrylics,
Very nice.
and hopefully someday I should be able to sell it through your portal.
Yeah.
Also, I have started reading a lot. I read a lot of books. Earlier, I was not a person who would ever be looking at books and trying to read them. But now I want to grab any kind of book, whether it's philosophy, psychology, whether it's fiction. So I am in.
Novels, books.
I do read some self-help books, and the latest that I picked for my son, which is, I think, the Shoe Dog. It's kept there. My film night, I've yet to start it. It's about the story of Nike.
Okay.
So I think that'll be one of the business books then.
Yeah, I think that's another thing we strongly recommend. At least I also believe that you can learn from podcasts like these, other experiences. But if you read, and if you have the habit of reading, or you can develop the habit of reading, there are so many books which talks about how successful businesses have been made, and that can give you a lot of insights on how you should shape your business as well.
Absolutely.
That's pretty nice. And Nidhi, any specific tips for our women entrepreneurs who are still thinking whether to start a business or not? Because there are many. I mean, we have a big community, has shoppers also, sellers also, and I'm sure there are members who are still starting their journey. Who are, some have started, some have grown, some are still thinking. I get a lot of calls saying, I have a passion for candle making, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to run that business. I have had a call from one of the ladies in Delhi, Chandni Chowk area. She passionately is into kebabs and biryanis and whatnot, but she's not sure how to run the business. So there are many who still have passion, but for whatever reason have not gone to the extent of starting a business. So what would you say? How should they start? What are the first few steps one should take to start this journey?
I think the very first step has already begun when you start thinking about it, because that's something that is totally self driven.
Oh.
And if that thought is coming, then please go ahead. At least give it a shot, give it a try. Don't just leave it there. If you think you have the passion for it, you will be able to take out dedicated time for it. It's not just about the passion, but it's also about how much value in terms of the time, resources, and energy you want to place in that work. Because if you're giving your 100%, I think there's no stopping you. There will be temporary failures, there will be moments of great success, and maybe sometimes very early and quick successes, which might fizzle off and you'll be totally disillusioned. But that is not a benchmark to stop. But that is your learning process, and that's the learning curve. So please go ahead and do it. But also, I think nowadays it should not be so tough, because we have lot of stuff available on YouTube, on social media, in terms of the guidance. So your so many podcasts are there. You can read the journey, and there's so many good books. So you can go through those books and you can read them. You can check on the YouTube in terms of the steps to begin a new business. So I think there's enough knowledge available and information also available. You just need to give it a start.
Yeah, I think the start is the most important piece, and you rightly said that if you're thinking about it, I think the journey has already started.
Yeah.
You have to just put that journey into a momentum of doing the business, and starting from home is no difficult thing. Today, even government supports all these budding entrepreneurs. I mean, people like yourself, because if you look at government, they're saying you can start any business and do up to 40 lakh per annum without even GST if it is a product business. Of course, there are exception states which allow only 20 lakh, but most of the states in India allow up to 40 lakh of business without GST. And if you're doing a services business, then you can do up to 20 lakh in most of the country, barring one or two states which only allow 10 lakh, up to 10 lakh without GST business.
Yeah, but I would still suggest that if you really want to do clean business, you want to do a fair business, there are benefits of GST also. So you must avail those benefits and you must get a GST registration, because that helps you to get the input credit for the purchases that you're making. And even if you want to approach for any kind of product or service, if you want to later at a certain stage you want to approach any corporate organization, they would any day prefer a company, even if you're a small organization, they would prefer a company which has a GST registration.
Right.
So then if you start that journey, okay, fine, then you might be just wasting time. And that opportunity that might come from some XYZ corporate might just vanish. So I would still suggest this. If you're starting, start with all the right things and don't make the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful point. When you start the journey, don't think I'll remain small. You have to have this whole passion that I will scale, and to scale, I will do the right things. I will protect my brand to trademark registration. I will get an accountant who can teach me profitability. I will get GST to scale, because government also will support you in that journey. Then and there are multiple initiatives under government's MSME program. The basic one you can start by Udyog registration, which is where you will get a lot of benefits. Loans are there and other things.
Absolutely.
So don't think. If you've started thinking, first of all, think. If you've started thinking, you start where I said don't think anything. Don't think of limiting yourself. Just go and start the journey. So that's so. Any other point, Nidhi, before we conclude?
Since Women's Day is around, I would like to wish all the women a very happy Women's Day. Rather, my philosophy is that Women's Day is something that we celebrate throughout the year. It's not specific. A day that doesn't define our worth. So similarly, I think there should be a Men's Day also. I don't even know if it exists, but the way with all the show and pomp that we celebrate Women's Day, we should. It's a society that we keep talking about equality, and also let's start with these things also. And yes, good wishes to all women who are watching our podcast.
And let me break this that Daffy, the boutique hotel which is managed by Nidhi, has a special offer which is running through the month, right? Through the year. Okay, that is like her philosophy. The offer goes through the year. You want to talk about that?
So we are offering for any solo female travelers or for a group of female only travelers. We have some special deals. So anytime that you book with us or stay at Daffy, we will be offering you some great deals, which are only specific to women. But please don't say now we are biased. And I was just a second back, I was talking about equality. But yes, this is an offer that we're making only to women.
No, I think it's not being biased. It's being celebrating womanhood through the year, and I think that's very important. One of the points we were also discussing was that in India, so many women are capable and have a passion to start business, but just because they sometimes don't have support from home or financial support or guidance, that whole interest doesn't come out. But we strongly encourage all of you that don't think about that. Just think about the business. You have the passion, convert that passion into business and go for it. And that's the mantra I would say, at least I will give for Women's Day. You have an offer from Daffy Prabhu for through the year.
See, start small if you have limitations on finances and other things, but keep the dream a big dream for yourself. Yeah.
With that, thank you, Nidhi. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thank you.